Hey everyone, my name is Dale, and today we're taking a look at the Haunted Mines map in Heroes of the Storm. Okay, Heroes of the Storm recently released a full build, all right, for the first time, and a lot of people are probably struggling to understand the different maps. There's a lot of different maps, and that's really the calling card of this game. And this is one of the earliest ones that were ever developed. This and Dragonshire were the first two developed. So we're going to take a look at why this map is very unique and also very bad. I'll explain to you why. All right, so the mechanic is extremely basic. All right, I feel like this is probably like one of the first iterations of mechanic, but so is Dragonshire, so it's no surprise. The mechanic is essentially the mines. All right, it's not actually, I guess it's not actually shown, but once you, about 90 seconds into the game, these mines are going to open. All right, and as you'll notice, this is only a 2-lane map. So that's another reason why this game is much different and not really fun. You'll probably want to send, a lot of people go 4 and 1 on this, but I like 3 and 2 a bit better. Send 2 assassins and a tank, 2 assassins and a healer, and then 1 assassin and a tank down bottom. You know, something like that, like some good split. You should have 1 tank and 1 healer. So 2 assassins should always go with 1 support. You should never have 2 assassins without anything. They're just going to probably get poked down and die. But about 90 seconds in, you'll want to try to get the shrine, or I'm sorry, you'll want to go in the mines. And this is important to realize because you could force a fight early. Like I said in a few other, especially on the Tribute and Dragonshire, you can force these maps to your advantage. So if you see like a weak comp on the other lane and you got 3 versus 2, you could try to force them to have to fight you. Like just continue to poke them down. So when the mines do spawn, you're in a much better position. Or you could even, you could force them down, and then about 15 seconds before you know the mines are going to open, you could hearth back and get back to the mines just in time. This is a huge advantage because once you're down in the mines, there's a bunch of these little zombies that you have to kill. There's about like 8 packs of them, and then there's a boss zombie down there. The boss drops, I'm pretty sure it's 40. It might actually be 35 skulls. But either way, once all the skulls are collected, so there's a maximum of 100 skulls down there. Once 100 skulls are collected between both teams, the mechanic begins. All right, so you'll want to get down there and get as many as possible. I'm really surprised. Oh yeah, here's the underground version. All right, perfect. So the underground version looks like this. All right, here's the boss itself. Down here, this guy, it's just a mine golem. He's gonna actually help your team. It's basically the same as a boss on other maps. Now this one here, this is the one you want to start at. All right, these two actually have one more mob. What am I doing? These two actually have one more mob than the rest of the packs. So these two in the middle are the first two you want to go to. So if you, like I said, if you can zone them out early and force them to go down with low health where your team is in a much better position, you can go right to those 2 camps, clear them out easily, and get those extra skulls. It's a huge advantage. That's 20 skulls right there, and that's a big deal. And then you just spread out. Another good idea down here is to kind of stay in groups. I would definitely recommend going down with your lane partners and trying to stay with them. Oftentimes, one fight's it's just gonna be unavoidable. People will very likely not win both lanes. Like you're not gonna come out even on both lanes, especially if it's 3-2. If it's not 3 versus 3. So you'll want to try to patch it up by going to where your team is. If 3 are bottom and 2 are top and 2's losing, you'll want to definitely go down bottom instead. Don't even enter the mines from the top if you're low health. It's just too dangerous. They're probably going to be waiting for you there, and they'll kill you and then go get the skulls. Another really good idea is to have 4 people go and have one person roam. You could choose, that person could either choose to get the skulls, or they can actually stay up top and do objectives. The objectives up top are actually pretty important. There's only 3 mercenary camps on the entire map, which is another reason this map is ridiculous. But this middle one here is actually pretty impactful. If you have somebody who's got exceptional AoE clear, especially later in the game, it's not a bad idea to try to do this camp before the mines open. If you do it properly as well, like I said, I'm pretty sure it's 90 seconds before the first one goes. If you get here about a minute in, with like 3 or 4 people before the first mines even open, you can clear this out, then go down the mines. You'll probably be at a disadvantage, but if you have a good enough team, it shouldn't matter. You'll have those mercenaries, and then every time from here on out, they will spawn right before the mines. So you could literally, you could use that to your advantage. You could always get those mercenaries first. Or for example, if you're losing the mines, you lost a big battle, 4 people died, 1 person's left. That 1 person can go there and get that. It's a good consolation. Those things will do good damage, and they do actually give a decent amount of experience. Even more successful is these bruisers. A very important thing about these bruisers is to make sure you wait to capture them when the golem spawns, right? So for example, the golem's going to come out from one direction, and you want these guys to go that same direction or the opposite direction. So say the blue golem, he's going through the top lane, then you'll want these golems to go out and attack that, their golem, right? It's hard to explain, but the mercenary golems attack their objective. That'll reduce the health of it, very rapidly, and you almost don't even have to defend it. So the split is very important as well. If you have a bad split, like say they have 70 skulls and you have 30, like I said, it's 100 split. So one team is always going to have an advantage. It's very unlikely that you'll both get 50 because the final boss drops that odd number. So it'd be pretty rare to have a 50-50, but it can happen. Anyway, if you have, I'd say a 70-30 is the most extreme that you want to allow. If it's anything worse than that, you're in real trouble, especially the late game. Like 100-0, golem could literally just win the game by itself. But 60-40 isn't a bad idea. 65, whatever, that's fine. But 70-70 is really a big deal, and you'll definitely want to defend that. But if not, I would definitely recommend sending some people to poke, especially if you have an advantage. Say you have the 70 golem, you'll want to send at least 2 people down there to poke, because this golem stomps and he does the AoE stun just like the rest of the bosses, right? So if you could force a fight, on top of that golem, they really have no way to respond to it. They'll have to fight you or just back off and not do the golem. And a lot of the times they'll overextend. They'll be like, oh, we can get a kill here. And then they'll get stomped on by the golem or rooted in the golem. And that does a lot of damage and it helps your team out a lot. You can get easy kills that way. So, in my opinion, this map is just such a small scope. The mechanic is ridiculous as well. The fact that the mines are just a death pit. Like, pretty much every time you go down there, somebody's going to die. And maybe that's not a bad thing in a game like this, but I think it doesn't involve any skill. It basically just involves who had the better wherewithal in the very first seconds of the game. Like I said, if you can get an early presence in one of the lanes, it could significantly increase your mines. And once you get a good mine, you can really snowball. I'm telling you, those 3 mercenary camps in the middle of the map are very important. But this isn't a guide on how to be pro at this map. It's just the basic objectives. So if you have any questions about those, let me know. Otherwise, I can't wait till there's vetoes because I hate this map.